everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time and checking in, and checking out the On Delay Run podcast. Just real quick, want to remind you that we are on the socials on Instagram and also TikTok, on YouTube as well, and you can follow us there. And it would be really grateful. We would be really grateful, and it would be helpful for us if you like, shared, and gave a rate to the podcast, and it would help tremendously. And don't forget to be able to share with family and friends. And we know you'll enjoy this podcast. And so, with that, Abe, I am excited to have this guest with us today. He's done some incredible things. So, why don't you go ahead and go over some of the stuff and introduce our guest today?
Yes, so I'm also excited to introduce, in my opinion, one of the best middle school runners in USA history. His PR is currently 2 flat and 800, 4:15 in the mile, 9:19 for the 2 mile on the grass and cross country, 15:23 for a 5K. He's the New Balance Indoor Nationals champion in the 800 and the mile, Brooks PR national champion in the mile, and middle school mile national record holder. This is Sean Reith.
Hey, Sean, thank you so much for being on the show. Welcome to the Underrated Podcast.
Yeah, what's up? It's great to be on here. I'm
Well,
glad
we're
to
really,
glad for the
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. Well, we're really excited to have you on here, and just talk about running, talk about life, and what's going on with you and everything. And so, one of the things that Abram just mentioned was just, of course, the record holder for the middle school mile. I believe, if I remember right, you set that at Brooks PR. Is that right?
The middle school record I set at running lane.
Oh, running lane. Okay, okay, running lane. All right, sounds good. So Sean, you are in 10th grade now, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So how are things going in your sophomore season with school and everything that's going on there?
It's been pretty good. Pretty decent cross country season. Um, just all around good. Excited for track season though. So.
Okay. So it sounds like you're more of a track guy than cross country. Is that right?
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
So with
what?
oh,
Go ahead, Ed.
so I know you ran the NXR Midwest. Are there any other races like Running Limit maybe or like the Brooks Regional that you're wanting to run?
No, NXR kind of wrapped it up. I was hoping to a little bit to make it to NXN,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's definitely been a short season, but pretty good
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. You the NXR 1528 is I think what you ran. Is that right?
15:23.
1523. Okay, 1523. Yes, yes. So, going into the meet, going into that particular meet, how were you feeling?
Um, yeah, it definitely was kind of a odd race, especially compared to last year. They went out pretty hard, and I thought 15-minute range would have been a good goal and would have been right around what you needed to make it out. But yeah, it was definitely a solid year. So a bit disappointing, but it's pretty good though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you placed in the top 30 there, so I mean that's that's pretty incredible. One of the things I think is important is we had a guest on a few weeks ago, and he had talking about learning from every race and from the season and those kind of things. And so, like you said, it was a short season, but what would you say maybe some takeaways for you, some things that you learned like during this cross country season?
Yeah, one of the main things I would say is for cross country specifically. I went out at that NXR meet sub 440 for the first mile, and I was probably maybe 5 seconds off the leader. So, I kind of learned from that, in cross country races at least, you need to just go out harder than you would expect in that first mile, because that's not something you see all the time in track. In track, a lot of times people will sit back till the last lap, but I guess it's kind of the opposite in cross country, which is a pretty good takeaway, I would say.
Yeah. Yes. So, you talked about that. I mentioned to Abe when we were watching, because we were watching some of your videos that I told you about. It looks it. Can you share with us a little bit of like your racing, maybe your racing mentality? Like, how do you prepare for a race? What are you thinking? The confidence, all those things. What is that for you?
You know, kind of varies from race to race, especially with different distances. But I always try to keep my confidence high. Go out with the leaders, especially in races where necessarily don't want to lead. Sometimes if it's too slow, you gotta push the pace sometimes.
Yeah.
So how does your like, would you say when you race different people and like, when you race people faster than you or maybe people who you think you're faster than, does your like race strategy change and like even like during the race does it change if it doesn't go how you think it does?
Um, I try to keep it pretty consistent regardless of who I'm racing.
Mm.
'Cause track cross country, it's an individual sport. It's you're racing against other people, but really more than anything you're racing against the clock, regardless of what other people are doing in the race, is how I kind of try to view it.
Mm. Yeah. So do you have like uh, anybody you look up to, or like you want to try to like copy their sort of running style?
That's a pretty good question. Pro, I don't know about in high school. I would say pro. Definitely, I really look up to Cole Hawker and the way he races and his variability, I guess, in from the 1500 to the 5000. So it's I kind of look up to him in that regards. At high school or collegiate, I don't know. I don't know. Not really.
Okay. Yeah. So with Cole, because he has such a like a range in what he runs, what is there a specific like event that you like more, say, than any other?
Um, yeah. I mean, this past track season, I didn't do. I regret it, but I didn't run any 2 miles, which
Mm.
is probably a mistake because I was really focusing on the mile, and I would still say that's probably my favorite event. Uh, it might not be the best event, my best event. I would say I'm definitely pretty solid in the 2 mile, but in terms of favorite events, definitely I would say the mile.
Okay. Okay. So the so you haven't ran the 3200 yet. Is that right?
Not on a track. I actually won for my high school season. So I actually did last year. It didn't go on mile split. It was about a 9:25. I think it was a full 2 mile, maybe 3200. It didn't go on mile split, and it was more of a time trial. It was really nobody else in that race.
Okay.
So I kind of ran that solo, but other than that, I ran a cross country one, which, like you said earlier. Um, but yeah, none other than that, none really competitive track 2 miles or 3200s.
So like with you, breaking 920 on the grass, which is incredible. Would you have any goals like on the track maybe this upcoming season?
This upcoming season for the 2 miles specifically, I'm trying
Mm.
to get the sophomore record for the 3200 outdoor, which is
Mhm.
8:43.
Okay.
Um, which I mean 8:40 would be great, but I would definitely be happy with a sophomore record this outdoor season. Maybe sub 8:45 range this indoor though.
Yeah.
I think.
That's
Okay.
really good. So with indoor season, are you looking to go back to New Balance? I know you've done it, middle school and last year you did.
We probably will. It really depends on where the competition goes, because I
Hmm.
noticed this past year there was a decent amount of competition at the Nike indoor at the Armory,
Yep.
which so maybe it just depends on where others are going.
Okay.
Okay.
So with you, Sean, like you're homeschooled and your training and everything, like how is it? Has it been easy or hard for you to do you train on your own? How's the training going? And where do you draw that information from?
It's been pretty good in training. It's with being homeschooled and all. It's flexible. So if I gotta get a double workout in or whatever, it's school can kind of bend around that, especially with sometimes limited daylight. Sometimes you can't. You got to go run in the morning and then push school off a little bit. But it's been pretty good. It's sometimes difficult to run at a track. Not every school around us leaves their track unlocked, but it's been pretty good, pretty good.
So
Yeah.
who would you say like writes your most of your training? Is it you or like your dad or
My
who
my
makes it?
dad coaches me. He writes up all the workouts and stuff. I mean, I probably, if he didn't, for whatever reason, couldn't give me a workout on a specific day, I it's a pretty consistent training schedule, so I kind of am pretty self-sufficient. But if there's ever any change on any given day that he wants to make to work out or anything like that, then he'll tell me that. But other than that, I'm pretty self-sufficient in that regards.
Okay. So, like, could you tell, not you don't have to go like into detail, but could you tell us maybe just an overview of like what your training kind of looks like?
Yeah. So we actually don't do like our workouts on specific days of the week, which is something I know a lot of other people do. We do 3 day training blocks, kind of. So we'll do our hard workout day, followed by a recovery day, and then just a nice easy day, nice easy day, and that just kind of repeats. And the hard workout days, sometimes the workout on that specific day will change, but the day that is a hard workout is always the same.
Okay. Uh, that's good. And so, Sean, you said that you wanted to hopefully maybe set the 3,200 national record for sophomore. So my question is like where do you think that drive comes from to like want to set records?
Mm, no, I don't know. I've always been pretty competitive, even before I started taking running seriously, and even today, like outside of running, I'm just pretty competitive and want to push myself to be the best that I can, and ideally the best ever.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's,
So
I was gonna say I think it's like innate, everybody wants to be the best and it's fun to set flashy records and have these big moments. So a question for Sean would be for me is like what do you think one of your favorite moments or like one of the highlights of your career would be? What would your favorite race be?
Ooh, there's been some good ones for sure. That I love that question. I would say in my entire career of running, there's a couple really good ones, but I would say probably the New Balance Indoor 2024 800 meter might be my favorite. Because
Yeah.
if you've seen that race, you know what I'm talking about. That's a fun race to
Mhm.
watch, and it was a fun race to win.
Yeah.
yeah, Sean, we were watching that, and I'm interested to know. I know this happened a couple of years ago, and see if you remember. Like so, because it looked like there was the leader had a little bit of a lead on you, a little bit of opened up a little bit of a gap, especially with maybe 100 left. What were you thinking in that moment? What was going through your mind? Because I mean that the kid looked like he could win, but of course he closed it down and you ended up winning that 800.
Yeah, moments like those, you really, really sometimes aren't even thinking. It's just you're so focused on the guy in front of you, and going into that race, my goal was to through the first 400, especially with some of the sprinters, I wanted to be in the lead because coming down from the mile, a lot of them were coming up from the 200 and 400. So but yeah, you sometimes aren't even thinking. You're just so focused on the guy ahead of you that um, yeah, there's not really much in your head at that time.
Yeah. So what do you think? Was it the fact that you came from behind to win? Is that why it's maybe your favorite?
That's probably it. Yeah, it's like even like so late in the race. It's such a short race, but even late in that race, and like the announcers too. There were announcers in that race, and they even said like, oh, it looks like he's starting to wrap it up a bit, and then to come back and still win that race was really exciting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is an exciting race to watch. If you haven't watched it, you can look it up on YouTube and look at and watch that race. It's a pretty good one. So Sean, uh, what got you into running? Was it your dad? Was it something you watched, or like what? Yeah, what made you start getting into the sport of running?
I've been running for a really long time. Probably second grade, I ran for like a youth cross country team, and yeah, I don't remember. I remember maybe being asked like, do you wanna sign up for this? And I was young. I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. So then I just stuck with it, and out of maybe pure luck even was the fastest one on that youth team, which I think probably played a part in why I stuck with it. Maybe like that the success, like the immediate success of it, and it was just like addicting a little bit. So I decided to stick with it.
Okay. Okay. So, you mentioned about like having immediate success. Um, of course, having success at the middle school level, having won the meets at New Balance and Brooks PR and everything, and having those successes uh, is amazing. And as you stepped into high school, like how have you been able to balance like having past success with like, man, I really want to have success at this level in high school? Like, have, yeah, just like how do you balance that, and how do you keep it from getting like letting your head get big with it?
Yeah, that's such a tough thing that I feel like doesn't get talked about very much. Is when you go from being a middle schooler, especially like a top middle schooler in the country, to oh, now you're racing against, because if you have a fast seat time, you'll be racing against seniors, even some of the best seniors in the country.
Yeah.
And you go from being winning all these big races to not being even close, and kind of a mental thing to that kind of breaks you down a little bit, which can make it harder for you to get faster. So it's like kind of stuck in a loop a little bit.
Hmm.
But it's I try to focus on myself. Like getting better versus like what other people are doing, or even with like online. It's a lot easier to compare now to other people in your specific grade versus like whatever races you're running against with older people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you hit something there, Sean. I think is really good. Like that transition, because we had Michael Haskin on the podcast just a week ago almost now, and I asked him about that transition from high school to college and how that was difficult. And it's a learning curve, and now like from middle school to high school, and like learning that, like because there is, like you said, now you're running against 18-year-olds who are seniors, and you may not win that race, at least initially. Um, but at the same time, I think it could be a drive, and then also because you mentioned about like taking a mental toll on you. Is there something that you have done, like specifically, or you think that's helped you? Maybe not let that mental toll take such a high effect on you.
Mm, Probably what I would say the main thing for me is, we talked about earlier focusing on records. Specifically, I said the sophomore record. Grade records, though,
Hmm.
um, what my transition from middle school to high school, I was focused on, trying to climb the freshman leaderboard for the mile up as high as I can, which just really trying to stay positive, focusing on what you can do and not worrying about things you can't control, like people that are older and faster than you.
Yeah. And Sean, I think you said that, like you hit it right on the head. Like when you said you can only control what you can. You can't control, those things, those outside circumstances, like who, how old somebody is, all that kind of stuff. You can't control that. You can only control only what you do. And so, I think that's really well put, and everything. And so, with now, you're in sophomore season, at least your cross country season. That sounds like it's over with. You'll be turning to focus on on track. Is there any sort of like long term goals that you have, like running collegiately or anything like that that you want to do after high school?
Um, after high school, like I would say, so probably the main one right now, and it's a pretty steep goal, I would say, but to run in LA in 2028 would
Okay.
be that would be amazing, because that would be just after I graduate my senior year. So that would be really great. But definitely, if not that one, definitely the next Olympics or an Olympics at some point. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that is my main thing right now, and um, haven't thought too much about collegiately, especially since I'm not at the point, I'm too young to even receive like scholarship offers, so I
Sure.
haven't thought about that all that much.
Okay. Yeah. So, with that, Abe and I, we were talking and we were wondering, like, is since, being homeschooled and not being a part of like a, public school and that kind of thing, is it difficult to find like competition that you can go to and be a part of? Is it far and few between? Like, how's that been for you?
Um, it's it's not, my dad kind of sorts that stuff out, so I don't really worry too much about that, but
Okay.
um like it's not that difficult, especially because a lot of the bigger races, there are some big races that don't let club or individual in. One of the bigger meets being the Arcadia meet in California. You can't run club or unattached there. So there's some meets that you can't get into. Another one being the Nike Twilight in at the Laverne Gibson course. But there's definitely competition that you can find if you know where to look, and we've made mistakes, gone to races we regret, not gone to races that we wished we would have. Um, it's you don't. It's not necessarily that you need a race every week, but there are some times where it's like, oh, there's a big race. There's only one big race though, and they don't let you in, so it can be difficult. But it's been all right.
Okay. So, Sean, like with the talking about the competition and the meets, have there been like any meets in particular that stand out, whether it's like the energy or the competition? Like, I know for me, the past 2 years we've gone to the Hoka Festival of Miles, and I love that meet. It's the energy is great. Fans are right there next to the track. So, are there any that really stand out to you?
Um, the big one for me would be the running lane in Alabama.
Mm.
Um, that that's such a fun meet to go to, especially for if you're going for the mile. That's kind of the big thing. They run it at night. The faster heats run later, so they run it at night. You're under the lights. It's usually not too hot. They got pace lights. They got announcers. And I was there when they ran the championship mile where they had a couple sub four times,
Mhm.
and just spectating that, there's people running all over the infield like it was a cross country meet, even like just to get to the other side of the track, which would be, I think, really an amazing experience this year, to get into that championship mile at running lane. But that's regardless of championship or not, I think that's definitely an amazing race to go to.
Yeah.
Right. Is there a certain time for like standard for to get in the championship mile there? Do you know?
I don't think they actually set. Um, I think there is a standard that is like would guarantee you a championship, but this past year the race there was so many entries that
Mm.
like the standard they set there was so many people under it. They actually had to like just do the top times because they can't put that many people that were under it on the track at
Right.
once. So I
Right.
think it's just top entries.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that sounds incredible. I mean, I've seen videos of the other running lane, and I saw a little bit of the video from last year with those two young men getting under four in that mile. So it's really good. So Sean, one of the things that we like to do is, of course, we like to talk about running, but we also know that there is more to a person than just running, because that's something you do. It's not who you are. So Sean, just a couple of questions just some fun questions to find out a little bit more about you, right? So if you had to choose to be on a team, right, uh, between the team of Marvel and the team of DC, which one would you choose?
Mm, I would say uh I would say probably DC. Something about the characters on that squad seem just more entertaining to me. I don't know.
Okay. Is there a favorite DC character you have?
Yeah, definitely Batman. Definitely Batman.
Okay, Batman.
Mhm.
That's a good one. Have you seen all like most of the movies that have come out about Batman?
No, a lot of them I'm not actually allowed to watch. I've seen a couple of them,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm not a huge movie watcher though, for what it's
Okay.
worth.
Yeah.
But I've seen a couple of them though.
Okay. So here's another one. So going from movies, right? So what on your playlist, music playlist, what is maybe the top two or three songs or artists that you have on repeat right now?
Okay, that's a fun question. I'm a big music listener, especially when I run.
Okay.
Um, I listen to mostly two artists. One of them being Connor Price is his name. He's bit like a rapper, but he does all sorts of genres. And then
Okay.
I also like to listen to Taylor Swift is another one of my favorites.
Okay, so would you consider yourself a Swiftie then?
Yeah, I would.
All right. So my daughter would be happy and she would be clapping right now for you because she's a Swiftie as well. Is there, is there a particular album that you like more so than others by her?
A particular album, probably the 1989 is the name of the album.
Okay.
That's my favorite
Okay.
one.
She just had an album
Yeah.
come out recently. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Beginning of October.
Mm,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah,
Did you listen
yeah,
to
it
it?
was. I listened to it. Not my favorite album. There's a couple good
Mm,
ones.
nice.
Okay. And then let's see. So I don't know if you are or not, but you can of course let us know. So are you a gamer? And if you are, what's a game that you're kind of into right now?
I do play some video games. I've noticed a lot of the competitive video games. Whenever I try to play them, I'm not very good at them. Regardless of how much I play, seems I'm just not a very competitive gamer. So most of the games that I play are like single player or like not competitive ones. So I actually play Farming Simulator. That's one of my
Okay.
favorites. Or the Hunter Call of the Wild. That's another one that I play. But definitely, uh, just seems however much I play them, I just don't play the competitive ones.
Okay. So that means no. What is it? A Flash?
Clash
No,
Royale.
no, no.
Yeah.
Have you attempted to play that?
I don't think so. Uh, figured out from a couple games that are competitive. It's like it just doesn't seem to matter what the game is or how much I play it. So, I stick to the single player games. So.
All right. All right. And so, and then just out of curiosity, is there any like hobbies that you do outside of running that you just like really enjoy, like drawing or woodwork? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So actually, very recently, within the past probably 3 weeks, I just got into like small engines, like working on them,
Okay.
fixing them. So I actually got I have a mini bike that I've been working on. I got it and it ran. It doesn't run, so actually after this, I'm about to go work on it. But I've
Okay.
been into that recently.
Nice. Okay. So you got a thought another hobby of I guess would it be replacing or repairing small engines right now?
Yeah,
Um,
mostly repairing. Driving's fun, but it's mostly repairing.
okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, Sean, I want to say thank you so much for taking some time and coming on the show with us. We really do appreciate it. One of our goals is when we started the show, we promised that we'd be about 20 to 30 minutes, and we are at that time today. And so hopefully in the future, you'd be willing to come back on the show and talk about your track season and, what's going on there and all that kind of stuff. We would love to be able to stay in touch and just see what's going on with you.
Yep,
All
sounds
right.
good.
That sounds good. Hey, do you have any other questions you want to ask Sean?
No, not really. Just thank you for coming on and good luck with your upcoming track season.
Thank you.
Hmm.
All right. So, thank you so much again, everybody, for listening in on this conversation with Sean. We really do appreciate his time. And one more time, we are on the socials. We're on Instagram and TikTok, on Daily Run on both, and YouTube as well. You can catch the video on there and everything. So, again, thank you. Share to those who you think may enjoy this conversation and enjoy this podcast. Again, thank you so much for your time. And we hope that everybody has a great week. And whatever you're doing, I hope you are encouraged. And remember, do it well. And I'm just going to say it. Andale. So you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you later.